What if I told you that the garage trades your grandfather did in 1973 are now paying $1,000 a week in 2026? Most of them are technically banned in the way they used to be done. The Environmental Protection Agency tightened the rules in the 80s. The Department of Transportation tightened them again in the 90s. Manufacturers stopped making rebuildable parts and started designing for replacement. Insurance companies pushed customers towards certified shops. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, the garage trades that paid working men's bills for 40 years went underground. But the demand never went away. Classic cars, old motorcycles, vintage stereos, and farm equipment did not stop existing. They just got harder to fix. And the people who still know how are charging premium rates. Today we are counting down 25 banned garage trades from the 1970s that are still paying serious money today, with verified numbers from BLS, ZipRecruiter, Hagerty, and Small Business Reporting. Stay until the end, because number 1 is a trade that bills $125 per hour and has a 6-month waiting list at every shop that still does it. If this is the kind of forgotten practical wisdom you came here for, subscribe and hit the bell. There is a new video on this channel every week. Quick note before we start. Most of these trades require state licensing, EPA certifications, OSHA compliance, or insurance for paid work. Nothing here is professional, business, or legal advice. Let us count it down. Number 25. The Carburetor Rebuild Specialist. In the 70s, every working man pulled, cleaned, and rebuilt his own carburetor with a coffee can of solvent and a basic rebuild kit. The trade got pushed underground when fuel injection became standard in the 80s and 90s. But every classic car, vintage motorcycle, and old small engine still runs on carburetors. Specialists who can rebuild a Holly, Carter, or Rochester 4-barrel charge $150 to $400 per rebuild, with 2 to 3 rebuilds per day clearing $400 to $900 cash. Number 24. Engine block machining and cylinder honing. In the 70s, every machine shop in every town did this work. Today, almost nobody under 50 knows how. Block boring, deck resurfacing, and cylinder honing for classic car rebuilds bills $100 to $250 per cylinder, with full engine block prep clearing $800 to $1,500 per engine. The work scaled down to a home shop with a used cylinder hone and a surface plate is genuinely viable for a retired machinist with the right tools. Number 23. The Auto Radiator Repair and Wreck Specialist. Old radiators were brass and copper, and a leaking radiator got soldered back together by a man in a garage for $20. Modern aluminum radiators are technically disposable, but the entire classic car market still depends on brass copper radiator repair. Radiator repair specialists charge $100 to $400 per repair, with wrecking an original radiator running $400 to $900. The shops that still do this work are booked solid. Number 22. Brake pad and shoe replacement. In the 70s, every man changed his own brakes in the driveway, often with the wheels still on the car. Brake work got pushed into certified shops by liability concerns, and the move to disc brakes on every wheel. But brake replacement on classic cars and trucks is still a real cash trade. Independent mobile brake specialists charge $200 to $500 per axle, with steady customer bases among classic car owners and small fleet operators. Number 21. The spark plug and ignition tune-up specialist. The 70s were the era of points, condensers, ballast resistors, and the annual tune-up. The trade collapsed when electronic ignition became standard, but classic cars, vintage tractors, and motorcycles still need ignition specialists who know how to gap, time, and set points. A retired mechanic with the right gauges and a timing light commonly charges $75 to $150 per tune-up, with 2 per day clearing real cash. Number 20. The vinyl roof and convertible top installer. The 70s were the peak of vinyl roof sedans, and replacing a worn vinyl top was a standard garage trade. Modern convertible top installation on classic cars and restomods still pays well. Specialists charge $800 to $2,000 per installation and labor, with full convertible top replacements clearing higher. The trade requires patience, glue work, and an understanding of trim removal that very few mechanics under 40 have ever learned. Number 19. The vintage stereo and 8-track repair specialist. Every car in the 70s had an aftermarket stereo, and every house had a serious component system. The vintage audio market has come back hard. Repair specialists for vintage receivers, turntables, and even 8-track players charge $75 to $200 per service. Full restoration of a high-end Marantz Pioneer or Sansui receiver runs $300 to $1,200, with rare units fetching premium restoration rates. Number 18. The CB radio installer and repair. CB radio was the social network of the 70s, and every truck and many cars had one installed by a guy in a garage. The hobby has come back through trucking, off-road, and emergency preparedness communities. CB and ham radio installation and repair pays $60 to $150 per service call. A specialist who knows antenna tuning, SWR meter use, and basic radio troubleshooting clears $400 to $1,000 per weekend at trade meets and direct customer work. Number 17. Tire vulcanizing and tube repair. In the 70s, a punctured tire got patched with a vulcanizing plug and a hot iron in a garage. The trade got pushed out by tubeless tires and chain tire shops. But vintage motorcycles, tractors, and antique cars still run inner tubes that need real repair. Specialists charge $30 to $75 per tube repair, with motorcycle and tractor tire work clearing $200 to $500 per service. Visit number 16, wheel balancing and front-end alignment. Every gas station in the 70s had a balance machine and an alignment rack. Today, the work has moved to specialty shops. Independent mobile alignment for classic cars charges $150 to $400 per vehicle, and wheel balancing for vintage rims and trailers runs $40 to $100 per wheel. The customer base is loyal because chain tire shops genuinely cannot align a 1967 Chevy properly. Number 15, the body filler and auto body repair specialist. In the 70s, a dent got pulled and filled in the home garage with Bondo and a hand sander. The trade has been heavily regulated for paint and chemical handling, but small dent and body repair for classic cars is still cash work. Specialists charge $200 to $800 per panel for bodywork, with full quarter panel work clearing $1,500 to $4,000 in labor and materials. Number 14, the pinstriping and custom paint artist. Every hot rod, van, and motorcycle in the 70s had hand-pulled pinstripes from a guy with a brush. The trade has come back with the rat rod, hot rod, and motorcycle custom scenes. Pinstripers charge $150 to $600 per job, with full custom paint work clearing thousands. A skilled striper can complete 2 to 3 jobs per day at car shows and shop bookings, with reputation building steady recurring work. Quick question before we keep going. Drop a comment with what your father or grandfather actually worked on in the garage in the 70s. What did he fix that nobody fixes anymore? If you haven't subscribed yet, this is the moment. The next trades on this list are the ones that pay the most and have the longest waiting lists. Number 13, the trailer repair and fabrication specialist. In the 70s, every farm and every working man had a small trailer that got fixed in the garage with a stick welder. The trade is alive because every landscaper, contractor, and farmer in America still uses trailers, and bringing one to a certified shop costs a fortune. Mobile trailer repair specialists charge $60 to $120 per hour, with axle, light, and frame repairs clearing $400 to $1,200 per job. Number 12, the hitch installation specialist. Installing a tow hitch in 1973 was a Saturday afternoon project in the driveway with a drill and a torque wrench. Modern hitch installation has been pushed almost entirely to certified shops, but independent installers still do real cash business. Hitch installation runs $200 to $500 per vehicle in labor, with wiring harness work adding $100 to $200. 2 installs in a day clears $600 to $1,000 cash. Number 11, the custom muffler and exhaust fabrication specialist. Every neighborhood in the 70s had a muffler shop where a man bent and welded custom pipes. The trade got pushed almost entirely to Bolton Systems and chain franchise shops. The custom exhaust work for classic cars and hot rods is still serious cash. Custom exhaust fabrication charges $400 to $1,500 per system, with a skilled fabricator completing 2 to 3 systems per week clearing $1,200 to $3,000. Number 10, the diesel injection pump rebuild specialist. In the 70s, diesel injection pumps were rebuilt locally by specialists who knew Bosch, CAV, and Stanadyne systems. The trade has consolidated to a handful of national shops, but small farms, classic diesel trucks, and tractors still need this work, and the wait at the big shops is months. Injection pump rebuild specialists charge $800 to $2,000 per pump, with skilled rebuilders completing 1 to 2 per week. Number 9, the hot rod and muscle car restoration specialist. The 70s were the high water mark of muscle car culture, and every neighborhood had a guy building one in his garage. The market value of restored muscle cars has gone insane in the last 15 years, and specialists who actually do the work are in serious shortage. Hot rod and muscle car restoration bills $75 to $125 per hour, with full project cars representing 500 to 1,200 hours of labor and clearing $50,000 or more in revenue. Number 8, the motorcycle mechanic. In the 70s, the corner motorcycle shop fixed everything from Honda 50s to Harley Sportsters in a small garage with hand tools. The trade has consolidated to dealership service departments, but independent motorcycle mechanics are booked solid because dealers cost 3 times more. According to ZipRecruiter and Indeed data, motorcycle mechanics earn between $18 and $34 per hour, but independent operators charging customers directly bill $60 to $100 per hour. Number 7, the snowmobile and a TV mechanic. The 70s were the explosion of recreational small engine vehicles, and every rural garage had snowmobile parts on the workbench. The trade is alive in northern states and rural America, with independent mechanics charging $60 to $100 per hour for repair and seasonal servicing. A retired man with a heated garage and a parts account can run a service business that clears $600 to $1,500 per week in season, with steady winter and summer work. Number 6, the outboard motor repair specialist. In the 70s, every lake town had a guy who rebuilt Johnson, Evinrude, and Mercury outboards in a small shop on the water. Outboard repair has consolidated 2 dealerships, but independent specialists serving boat owners and fishing guides are booked solid through summer. Outboard repair bills $70 to $120 per hour, with full powerhead rebuilds clearing $1,000 to $3,000 per engine. Number 5, the tractor and farm equipment repair specialist. In the 70s, every farm had a guy in the next county who fixed tractors and combines in his own barn or garage. The trade has consolidated 2 dealerships charging $200 per hour and demanding the equipment be hauled in, which farmers cannot afford. Independent tractor mechanics charging $60 to $100 per hour for mobile repair are quietly booked solid across rural America, with steady seasonal demand. Number 4, the RV and camper repair specialist. The 70s were the explosion of recreational vehicles in America, and many owners still have RVs from the 70s and 80s on the road. RV repair has been heavily consolidated to dealer service departments charging premium rates, but independent RV mechanics are in genuine shortage. Mobile RV repair bills $90 to $150 per hour, with appliance, plumbing, electrical, and slide-out repairs clearing $400 to $1,500 per service call. Number 3, the vintage parts manufacturer and small casting operator. Many muscle car parts are no longer made, and restorers pay top dollar for reproductions cast and machined in small garage shops. A retired machinist with a small lathe, mill, and basic casting equipment can produce reproduction parts for specific muscle car platforms at premium pricing. A single reproduction part for a rare model can sell for $200 to $2,000, with established small producers clearing $20,000 to $60,000 annually per time. Number 2, the engine balancing and blueprinting specialist. The most technical of the 70s garage trades, balancing and blueprinting an engine for maximum performance. This work requires precision measuring tools, a balancing machine, and 20 years of experience. There is almost nobody under 60 doing this anymore. Engine balancing and blueprinting bills $100 to $200 per hour, with a complete job clearing $2,000 to $5,000 per engine. The customer base is racing teams and restoration shops. And here we are at number 1. The trade that bills $125 per hour, has a 6-month waiting list, and pays better than 90% of white-collar careers. Number 1, the classic car full restoration specialist. The work that combines body, mechanical, paint, upholstery, and trim into a single complete restoration job. According to Hagerty industry reporting, classic car restoration billable rates run between $70 and $125 per hour at established shops, with $125 the national restoration shop average. A typical mild cosmetic and mechanical refresh runs $800 to $1,000 billed hours, generating $100 to $125,000 in labor revenue per car. A full frame-off restoration runs $2,000 to $4,000 billed hours and generates $250,000 to $500,000 per car in labor alone. A retired technician working out of his own shop on one project at a time can clear $60,000 to $150,000 per year as a solo operator with no employees. The waiting list at every shop that still does this work is 6 months to 2 years long, and customers are committed because the alternative is owning a car they cannot drive. Grandpa would have called this getting paid for what he was already doing on weekends for fun. The modern market calls it the most valuable garage trade in America. Here is what makes this whole list remarkable. Almost every one of these trades was a normal weekend skill in the 70s that any working man learned from his father. The regulations got tighter, manufacturers got cheaper, and dealer service departments swallowed the visible market. But the cars, motorcycles, tractors, and machines did not disappear. They are still in garages, barns, and driveways across America, and the people who can keep them running are charging premium rates because almost nobody else can. A reminder before we close. Most of these trades require EPA certification, OSHA compliance, state licensing, and proper liability insurance for paid work. Nothing here is professional advice. If you found even 3 of these trades useful, share this video with someone who has the hands and the tools for this kind of work. That is how this knowledge stays alive. Drop a comment telling me what your father or grandfather worked on in the garage in the 70s. The best stories become future videos. Hit subscribe because next week we are going further back into the clever cash skills your grandmother used to keep the household running. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.